Hey friends, welcome back to my channel. My name is Erin and I am so excited that you decided to take time out of your day to spend with me, because today we are going to use the spinner wheel to decide what my spring TBR is going to be. I'm going to do 10 spins, so that will be 10 books that I hope to read during the months of March, April, and May. I used to do more than that, but I feel like 10 is going to be my sweet spot. And I honestly just like making TBRs. It's fun for me, so anything that I can do to squeeze another TBR video in, why not? And it kind of does help me as far as planning for videos and things like that, to have these seasonal TBRs. So yeah, let's just hop right into these spins and see what we get. So for our first spin, we got a sci-fi, and I'm actually really happy about that. I have a small collection of sci-fi books that I've yet to pick up, mainly because I'm just intimidated by them and I don't know what my sci-fi taste will be. But how do you figure out your taste if you don't start reading sci-fi, right? It's just a cycle, unfortunately. I'm going to choose an arc that I have of a 2025 release, and that is the Ephemera. I hope I'm saying that right. Ephemera Collector, and this is by Stacy, Nathaniel, Jackson, and it's supposed to be released on April 1st. And the synopsis of this says, in near future Los Angeles, Sandria Brown works diligently as an archivist at the Huntington Library, Art Museum, and Botanical Gardens. Descended from a family of obsessive collectors who took part in the Great Migration, Sandria has always been passionate about the art of curation and preservation, especially of seemingly useless African American ephemera. But while juggling multiple projects, her neurocognitive symptoms of long COVID are worsening, as her health bot keeps having to remind her. When the Huntington unexpectedly goes into lockdown, Sandria must rely on her adaptive technology and her own flickering intuition to preserve her life's work, the Dawada Collection. A strikingly original saga written in lyrical prose, the Ephemera Collector announces Stacy Nathaniel Jackson as a singular new voice in fiction. So I am super excited to get into this one and see what I think. Spin number 2 gave us published in the 2020s, and this one was actually kind of hard because there are so many books that are published in the 2020s that I am very much interested in, but I decided to go for this one, and it is Drown Me with Dreams, and this is by Gabi Burton, and this is the sequel to Sing Me to Sleep and also the last book in the duology. I read Sing Me to Sleep in February, so I feel like I just want to go ahead and wrap up this duology. I don't want to leave it lingering or anything like that. So yeah. And because this is a sequel, I am going to read the synopsis of Sing Me to Sleep for you, just so you know kind of what it's about. This is a YA fantasy that follows a soldier in training at the most prestigious barracks in the kingdom. Sorsha lies about being a siren to avoid execution. At night, working as an assassin for a dangerous group of mercenaries, she lies about her true identity. And to her family, Sorsha tells the biggest lie of all, that she can control her siren powers and doesn't struggle constantly against an impulse to kill. As the top trainee in her class, Sorsha would be headed for a bright future if it weren't for the need to keep her secrets out of the spotlight. But when a mysterious blackmailer threatens her sister, Sorsha takes a dangerous job that will help her investigate. She becomes the personal bodyguard to the crown prince. Sorsha should hate Prince Hayes. After all, his father is the one who enforces the kingdom's brutal creature segregation laws. But when Hayes turns out to be kind, thoughtful, and charming, Sorsha finds herself increasingly drawn to him, especially when they're forced to work together to stop a deadly killer who's plaguing the city. There's only one problem. Sorsha is that deadly killer. Super excited to see how this duology is going to end. Spin number 3 was a beautiful cover. And this definitely was not easy at all. But I decided to choose a book that has been on my TBR for entirely too long. This was actually a cover buy for me. And so that's why I decided to pick it. And that is Weyward by Emilia Hart. And I mean, like, can you I've never seen a more gorgeous cover ever. Like, this just gives everything and then some. And I saw it floating around a couple of years ago and I was like, yeah, I'm gonna buy that. I need to have that on my shelves. I don't even care what it's about. Like, I have to have this on my shelves because it's just gorgeous, right? So I think this is a mix of historical and fantasy and maybe a little literary as well. I know we're following 3 different timelines. So we are in 2019, where under the cover of darkness, Kate flees London for ramshackle Weyward cottage inherited from a great aunt she barely remembers. With its tumbling ivy and overgrown garden, the cottage is worlds away from the abusive partner who tormented Kate. But she soon suspects that her great aunt had a secret, one that lurks in the bones of a cottage hidden ever since the witch hunts of the 17th century. We're also in 1619, where Arthur is awaiting trial for the murder of a local farmer who was stampeded to death by his herd. When Arthur was a girl, her mother taught her their magic, a kind not rooted in spellcasting but in a deep knowledge of the natural world. But unusual women have always been deemed dangerous, and as the evidence of witchcraft is laid out against Arthur, she knows it will take all her powers to maintain her freedom. In 1942, as World War II rages, Violet is trapped in her family's grand crumbling estate. Straight-jacketed by societal convention, she longs for the robust education her brother receives, and for her mother, long deceased, who was rumored to have gone mad before her death. The only traces Violet has of her are a locket bearing the initial W and the word Weyward scratched into the baseboard of her bedroom. Weaving together the stories of 3 extraordinary women across 5 centuries, Weyward is an astonishing debut and an enthralling novel of female resistance. So, a little witchy, a little historical, a little literary. I don't know what I'll think of this. I would love to love it so I can keep it on my shelves, but if I don't, it's taking up space and unfortunately it will have to go, and I am going to be terribly upset if I have to get rid of this cover because I love it so much. Spin number 4. Yes, spin number 4 gave us a sequel, and thanks. I am trying to, catch up, keep up with all the series, and so I'm always happy to get a sequel. And for that, I am going to choose The Obelisk Gate by N.K. Jemisin. This is the second book in the Broken Heart. Nope. In the Broken Earth trilogy, which starts with the 5th season. And I am super excited, scared, nervous, anxious to get into this. I absolutely loved the 5th season, but I'm scared for our characters and what's going to happen to them. So yeah, I want to go ahead and keep pushing on this series so I don't forget anything, because rereading the 5th season so soon, not going to happen. Not going to happen at all. So yeah, really excited to continue on and hopefully knock this series out really quickly. Spin number 5 was a person on the cover, and for that I will be choosing The Poisons We Drink by Bethany Baptiste. This is a YA fantasy book. It's a lot thicker than I remember. It's kind of heavy. Okay. How many pages is in there? around 450. Not too bad. But in this, it says love potions are a dangerous business. Brewing has painful, debilitating side effects, and getting caught means death or a prison sentence. But what Venus is most afraid of is the dark, sentient magic within her. When an enemy's iron bullet kills her mother, Venus's life implodes. The Poisons We Drink is a potent debut about a world where love potions are weaponized against hate and prejudice, sisterhood is unbreakable, and self-love is life and death. And this is going to and this sounds really cool to me. It's another witchy story, a sisterhood story. Love all those things. And I'm really excited to finally read this. It's a standalone, and y'all know, I think it's a standalone. I don't want to speak too soon, but yeah. Spin number 6 gave us the prompt of an animal on the cover, and for that I am going to be choosing, if I can get it in my hands correctly, I'll be choosing The Phoenix King by Aparna Verna. And I have been waiting and waiting to read this. I've heard really good things about it. And so, from a stunning new voice in fantasy comes an Indian-inspired, action-packed debut of fire magic and ancient prophecy, in which the fate of a kingdom rests in the hands of a princess desperate for power and an assassin with a dark secret. The Ravani kingdom was born of a prophecy carved from unforgiving desert sands and ruled by the Ravens' bloodline, those with the power to command the eternal fire. Elena Adaya is the heir to the throne and the only Ravens who cannot wield her family's legendary magic. As her coronation approaches, she will do whatever it takes to prove herself a worthy successor to her revered father. But what she doesn't anticipate is the arrival of Jemisin Knight, the notorious assassin, who now claims fealty to the throne. Elena's father might trust Jemisin to be a member of her royal guard, but she is certain he is hiding something. As the threat of war looms like a storm on the horizon, the two begin a dangerous dance of intrigue and betrayal, and the choices they make could burn down the world. This sounds so good, and I've been seeing the author post about is it the second or the third book in the series? Either way, it's a sequel to this book, and I'm very much intrigued, very much need to figure out what this is about. Our next prompt is a bookish book, and I wanted to pick something that has been on my TBR for a minute and kind of made the rounds last year, I think, when it came out. And, people haven't heard the best things to say about it. And did that kind of put me off from reading it right away? Yes. But now that I think everyone has kind of read it, if they're going to, or the hype has kind of died down, at least, I feel like I can make my own opinions, and I don't have anything that anyone has said kind of circling in my brain still. And that's a long-winded way to say that I would be picking up a novel love story by Ashley Poston. This will be my first book by her. It's the first one that kind of, the synopsis sounded like me, so I am excited to try out her writing. Now, am I excited to try out the one that people seem to like the least? No, but like I said, I'm going to form my own opinion of it, and I may love it. You never know. So in this, we'll follow Elsie, who loves to get lost in a good happily ever after, the fictional kind anyway, because at least imaginary men don't leave you at the altar. She feels safe in stories, at home in books, which might be why she's so set on going to her book club's annual retreat this year. She needs good friends, cheap wine, and grand romantic gestures, no matter what. When her car unexpectedly breaks down on the way, she finds herself stranded in a quaint town that seems like it's right out of a novel. Because it is. This place can't be real, and yet she's here in a Lorton. The tone from her favorite romance series, where the candy store's honey taffy is always sweet, the local bar's burgers are always a little burnt, and rain always comes in the afternoon. It feels like home. It's perfect and perfectly frozen, trapped in the late author's last unfinished story. Elsie is sure that must be why she's here, to help bring the town to its storybook ending. Except there's a character in Lorton whom she can't place, a grumpy bookstore owner with mint green eyes, an irritatingly sexy mouth, and impeccable taste in novels. And he does not want her finishing this book, which is a problem because Elsie is beginning to think the town's happily ever after just might be intertwined with her own. Sounds really cute. Hope it's really cute. We'll see. Spin number 8 gave us a mood read. Again, another very hard prompt for me to decide what I want to read for. But I decided to go with a new-ish release that I haven't really seen much about and I want to make an opinion on for myself, and that is The Last One by Rachel Howzell-Hall. This is a romantasy that is written by a Black author, and I need to know because we don't have a lot of that, and I need to make my way through. I need to know. So the synopsis says, The Witcher meets N.K. Jemisin in a new series by Rachel Howzell-Hall, where a young woman awakens in a field with no memory and learns that the world is dying, and that she is the only one who can save it from the evil, destructive force herself. What? I don't know. Sounds good. Need to read it. Prompt number 9 has trees on the cover, and for this I will be choosing The Dating Countdown, and this is by N.G. Peltier. It's the third and final book in the Island Bites series. You see what I'm doing? I'm moving through these series. I'm trying to anyway. So The Dating Countdown is, let's see what this is about. Remy Daniels knows what she wants, Maxine King. She screwed up when they were teenagers, allowing them to part on bad terms, but now that Maxine is divorced and back on the island, their chemistry can't be denied, and Remy is ready to pick up right where they left off. Maxine King has only ever fooled around with one woman, Remy Daniels, and being back in each other's orbits, they can't seem to keep their hands off each other. Maxine has enough to deal with in her daily life, her daughter, and trying to prove herself at work. She can't add lusting after Remy to that list. To prove that their relationship can be more than just sex, Maxine suggests that they keep things casual and go on 10 friend dates. After all, if they can do that, it would mean that they're serious about each other, right? But their dates keep getting reset as they keep breaking their pact. Remy is getting restless because not making it to the 10 dates by their imposed deadline means failure, which sucks because each date just shows her how much more she wants Maxine. As the two women try to navigate this budding relationship, they both have to combat their fears. Maxine's of falling for a woman, and Remy's of worrying that Maxine will reject her at the end of their deal. And this sounds like it's a whole lot going on, and I need to be a part of it. So I am super ready to see how this series is going to wrap up and what's going to happen with Remy and Maxine, because we got some snippets of them in the second book, Don't Go Breaking My Heart, and I need the tea, And our last spin gave us the prompt of green on the cover, which makes me really happy because green is my favorite color. So, love reading a green cover book. For that, I am going to choose The Wild Huntress by Emilia Lloyd-Jones. And this is a fantasy. I can't remember off the top of my head if it's YA or not, but I think it might be. Every 5 years, two kingdoms take part in a wild hunt. Joining is a bloody risk, and even the best hunters can suffer the most gruesome fates. Still, hundreds gamble their lives to participate, all vying for the hunt's life changing prize, a magical wish granted by the other king. A trickster, a prince, and a wild huntress. If they band together against the monstrous creatures within the woods, they have a chance to win, but nothing is guaranteed, for all are fair game in love and in the hunt. I love a trial based, competition based fantasy book, and I think this one's going to have a little bit of a different twist on it. So, yeah, I'm very excited to pick this up and see what I think about it. I've never read from Emily Lloyd-Jones before, but I have heard good things about her writing, so we'll see what happens. And with that being said, that is all of the books on my spring TBR, the 10 books that I'm hoping to get through in the months of March, April, and May. And if you've read any of these, please let me know what you thought about them in the comment section below. And thank you so much for staying to the end of this video, for liking, commenting, what are words? I was trying to put two words together. Liking, commenting, sharing, and subscribing, and anything else that you do to support me and this channel. It is greatly appreciated. I hope you have the best day that you possibly can. Remember to take care of yourself, and I will catch you in the next video. Bye.